Hello everyone, welcome to this message. So as our first card we get the fairy was kissed by the pixies. So this is my card of the chosen. Um, and yeah, being chosen and very much feeling blessed by God and being at the right place at the right time. Like these kinds of concepts are connected to this card. And then as our next two cards, we get the green woman and the singer of initiation, and this pumpkin card with drawing underneath and hobbies, drawing and hobbies, and the Queen of Hearts. I was like drawn to this deck. So let's see. Yeah. So it could have something to do with you um, being very much open to being weird, perhaps, because there is a parrot on this card, and parrots. Well, I once had a parrot, and this parrot always looked at me very strangely whenever I was doing something that was kind of weird in a sense. So it could have something to do with perhaps people. This could even be other people, right? Like other people looking at you a little bit like it's kind of weird what you are doing. So it could be a hobby that you're doing, or maybe even um, like if you are an artist, like if you like draw or something, it could be could pertain because of course like drawing to me also is something I is that is part of my business and which is also a hobby of mine, right? So I like I really like to create um, high quality, beautiful things, right? So, and I do think that this has to do with perhaps the judgment of others, because I always felt like that this parrot was like looking at me kind of like strangely whenever I was doing something weird. So it has a little bit of that judgment kind of vibe to it, I guess, in a sense, like just that people just look at you as like you could say like a parrot also is non-judgmental because like animals aren't judgmental, but they like look at you strange because like you're a weirdo, right? So that kind of a look. So maybe they are going to be looking like that a little bit, yeah. And maybe you're also going to be looking back at the parrot, like maybe a little bit in a skeptical manner. This person is like looking away a little bit, or like if this person is looking at the parrot directly, which could be the case, and it would be a little bit skeptical, right? So maybe you are skeptical towards the way people perceive you as being weird or being um, thinking you are odd or weird or exhibiting weird behavior in some kind of way. Maybe you're also like skeptically looking at them back, you could say, right? And of course, the Queen of Hearts is someone who is open to whatever their heart is calling them towards. So it could be that your heart is calling you towards creating something. Because of course, the pumpkin to me also relates to the hobby of like making a vegetable garden, so it could be making like you could be drawn to a hobby that has something to do with creating things with your own hands, or it could be that you are drawn to drawing or some kind of um, a hobby of some sorts, right? Whatever it may be. So something like a hobby that could perhaps become a side business, something like that, or like something you create with your own hands. Maybe people find it strange in and of itself that you create things with your own hands, that you have certain hobbies, that you have certain a certain side business perhaps. So there's something about that because this is all connected to this card a little bit, right? So doing something like or making money in a way that people are finding a little bit odd, a little bit strange, right? It's not like they're judgmental towards it, it's more like they find it strange, they find it odd, right? And because they find it odd and strange, it has a little bit that feeling of judgment towards connected to it, but it's not really judgment because the parrot also is non-judgmental in a sense. It's just an eye of like we find it quite weird, odd, like we're a little bit skeptical towards this, and maybe you're also very skeptical towards them as well in return, right? So yeah, and it has a little bit this look in this eye as well, that oh that gnome, and oh that gnome is like our lost carpet, has something to do with the same old, right? So maybe you're also like looking at like why can't we do something different, right? Why does it have to be the usual, the same old, the way things have always been done, the way the world goes, right? um do we need to go like with the flow of the world? So it's something like that. um and then we have the fairy was kissed by the pixies. So this could talk about that perhaps God has, because it has this connotation about being chosen, being blessed. So it could have something with talent or being gifted with, being blessed with. So maybe you are blessed with the ability to create things with your hands. Maybe you are blessed with the ability to do something artistically, or you are maybe gifted to create something that could be a side hustle, right? Like that could become a business, that could become like a hobby that becomes a little bit more than a hobby. So there could be something like that about, or just you feeling drawn and being blessed towards creating things with your hands, right? And you just maybe other people are skeptical of that, but like there's again this acknowledges like that counter acknowledgement from God, that like where God says like well, I support you, I think it's a good idea, I want to support you on this journey, I love you, I support you, right? So it has that idea, right? So it doesn't matter what other people think, I guess, and if whether they are going to be supportive or skeptical or not, it's not really important. You are being blessed with a gift, right? So, and if you're blessed with a gift, it's of course a gift from God. And it's also very interesting because I was talking about the pumpkin seeds, right? So it could be that God is gifting you a pumpkin, which means that God may be giving you an idea, maybe drawing you towards a passion, and like when you create this, it turns out that it wasn't just one pumpkin. You open a pumpkin and there are like lots of pumpkin seeds, so you could make 1,000 more things based on that one idea you got. So it could be an idea that will keep on producing fruits, that will keep on being abundant, that will keep on providing inspiration. So it could be quite an abundant hobby, quite an abundant side business, or like quite an idea that just keeps on, that is incredibly abundant. It turns out. Um, so there's something about that. And the green woman has to do with, on the one hand, this idea about containing growth, but also it could also talk about natural growth, right? Very uninhibited, wild, natural growth. So it could be that whatever this is, you are being blessed with this gift from God, right? You've been blessed with a talent, a gift, an inspiration, an idea, which likely has something to do with something you can create with your hands, or some kind of skill that you have been given, a talent, a skill. And as a result of that, as you are blessed with this and God is supporting you as well, there is something about that you're going to be experiencing quite a natural growth because it is in alignment with your gift. And it makes me think now about that concept of your gift will make room for you. So it could be that there is a gift that will make room for you, right? That there is a gift that is incredibly abundant, that will keep on providing you with inspiration, will keep on providing you with new ideas and abundance, and it's a gift that will keep on giving a little bit. Is a little bit this idea, right? So maybe you've been given an inspiration ID for a passion, a gift, a talent of yours, and like once you do something with this, like if you will have a lot of natural growth, so it will come natural to you. It will yeah, a natural evolution, a natural growth of this is going to happen. And it's also because you're very receptive to the heart, so it's something that your heart is calling you towards, and it's calling you, and you're also very receptive to it. So yeah. And then we see the singer of initiation. So, which has also got this cap a little bit on it, right? So maybe because it can look a little bit like an astronaut capsule in a sense. There's something here about or an egg or something. So maybe you are being given a new ID. Maybe this could be the birth of a new ID, and this new ID will will prove to be something that will grow naturally because it's just naturally you. It is you are naturally gifted at it. So that there's something about that it will grow very naturally as a result of that. And maybe you also have a lot of inspiration. Things come naturally to you when it relates to this. And this growth that will be associated with it will also be very, very natural. And it may also have something to do with your wilder nature, perhaps as well. So maybe it will connect you um, to who you are in a sense that it is incredibly inherent to you, very natural to you, very similar to someone who has not been domesticated, right? Something where you also feel like that you can be more quote unquote wildly you in a sense. So you can be creative, you can yeah, something like that. You can naturally grow in this. And then we have the Glancona. So the Glancona is a draining energy, right? Sometimes also a narcissist, and it's very interesting because this this card actually also wanted to come here, like actually double in position. But I I I went for this card, right? So the second option, but the first option that wanted to appear there was actually this card again, but I don't have this card again, right? So, and it's also less interesting to have this card twice appearing in a message, but we will take it into account. So there is something about that you are feeling that someone is draining you, right? Um, yeah, someone is draining you while you are shining about it. So when someone is draining you while you are totally shining about something, it means that you're very inspired, very enthusiastic about something, and that another person is likely quite skeptical of this, right? Rather unsupportive of this. And but God wants to say like um, that this will be a great direction for you because you will naturally grow at this. Um, so it has something to do with that. And also the sage is like has discernment, right? It sees right through um sees right through it, and maybe what you are seeing right through could be the same old. So maybe it could talk about even a visionary, right? So maybe you have the gift of sight, right? The gift of foresight, of vision. And it could be that you are seeing something, that you are a visionary, that you are seeing the future demands or something, and what people are going to be looking for in the future. And the people who are skeptical may be much more like looking at the world as it is right now, less in terms of the future world, because this also has a time capsule in it, right? So it has this idea about that something from the past perhaps will come back again, or like that there is that it has to do with that it's quite futuristic perhaps. There's a time element to it, right? So just like a time capsule is like something you put in the ground in the past, and like it will re-emerge. So it could be like something that was once retro that will become popular again, or like um, something that we do not really consider to be part of the future world, which is actually is going to be a big part of the future world, or future trends or something like that. So you are being quite futuristic, I think, and they are much more looking at the world as it is right now. So of course they are skeptical because you are seeing the future in a sense. You're more futuristically oriented, and there's something about this natural growth. um, Maybe you are also seeing that. Maybe you're seeing how this could like become something that will naturally grow. You see a lot of growth in that, and perhaps even anything to do with the natural world, that it could be a return to the natural world. um, yeah, natural world, creativity, these kinds of things. um, that you are seeing something there, that you're understanding something. And of course, we have the singer of initiation, right? This new beginning, which it has something of a time capsule element to it. And this is the same old, right? The world goes round and round, and it's always the same. And it's the world that we live in today, you could say, right? The way things are done, and you are seeing something that is quite futuristic, I think. And you're being initiated towards this quite futuristic idea that you are getting, which will likely become the future, and there will be a demand for this in the future, but people are not really seeing the future world. They're seeing the present day world, the current world, and that's why they're not really supportive of you. And we have Luwata the Wild, which is um, like on like this green light from the universe, right? So in this case, it would be like the green light from God. So you will, so God is definitely on your side. It's very much supportive, and it's giving you the green light. It's like go ahead, go fast with this. Go straight ahead with this. Um, and again, the wild. There's something here about the wild. There's something, and I also felt that that was connected, these two cards. But there's something about this wildness. What does wild mean? I guess back to the natural world, um, spontaneous creativity, weirdness, perhaps being naturally wildly you. So there's something about that, about natural talent, for example, natural creativity. There's something about a return to the natural world that's quite futuristic in a sense. And yeah, so you are getting a green light with this idea that you're having. And then we have at the bottom of, no, what goes with that is school and study. So maybe you are being called to maybe it is in alignment, because we have the three of diamonds with that as well. So there could be also an alignment that will be happening in the physical world, or it is aligned with the physical world. I would say it more like that. It is in alignment with what the world is looking for, I think, this idea that you are having. And there's something about this coconut makes me think about we learned about like the best day of my, kind of like it's a great memory of mine, was the day I loved fruit as a child, right? And to the point that I was like literally trading cookies for fruit, because I preferred fruit above cookies, gluten-free cookies, right? So so there's something about like this was a day uh, in my childhood where we went to the supermarket with the teacher, all of the kids in the class, and we bought all of the fruits that were available, and we brought them home and put them on like a big table, and we got to taste all of the fruits in the world. So it was absolutely amazing for someone who loves fruit as much as me. And so this idea about opening a coconut also has this idea about this week. So first of all, we're going to go with the original metaphor, right? So it could have something to do again with the natural world, learning about the natural world, being able to taste the variety of the entire natural world. So being able to have an experience, quite an abundant experience. This could be um, it's about learning about natural things, something to do with the natural world again. Studying and school, and there's also something about crafting again, um, the because this coconut to me this week has to do with that I could buy coconut, dried coconut, right? Or coconut flour or something like that. Roast coconut, because I wanted to make coconut cookies, right? But I was thinking about it, like the whole process of how are they going to be drying that coconut. Like, I don't think it's quite safe for me, because there are so many factors that I can't really control in such a factory environment, right? So, who knows what else is being dried there that making thing gluten, right? Is this even like if you think about it a little bit further than just like a coconut is safe? to eat because it is gluten free by nature, you quickly see what the problems could become, right? So I decided to just buy a coconut and just open it myself. And I learned that back in the day, like how to open a coconut, right? So it was really valuable advice. So this could have something to do with really old ways of doing things. So, for example, like who makes their own coconut um, flour? Like nobody does that, right? Like it's just insane. Nobody has time for this kind of stuff. And I also felt like, do I really have to do this? But I went for it anyway. So I'm going to dry the coconut myself in an oven and then make coconut cookies from that. But anyway, but being able to open a coconut is also something that most people, I think, don't even know how to open a coconut anymore, right? They just buy it chopped up, right? So this has as is a metaphor of things that are just not of this world anymore, right? It's not part of the modern world. So I do think that there is, it's connected to this card here, right? That there is a gift that you have that is quite futuristic. It is not no longer part of this world that we see today. It's like something that people don't do anymore. So this could be a craft that people just don't do anymore. This could be just a way of doing things, a way of living, a way of existing, whatever it may be. It is not of this world anymore, you could say. So, and it's not considered valuable or a part of the future, right? So a lot of things due to AI, right, are not really considered to be part of the future anymore. But I do think that I suspect there's going to be a counter movement to that, right? So, yeah. And also we have this number three here as well with these three openings. So it could definitely be something about alignment. There's something in a that an alignment to the natural world, natural crafts, things that are actually being considered things that will be done by AI in the future that may not be done by AI in the future. And so there could be a counter movement that's going to start happening. I suspect that. Could be wrong, of course, but I do think that. And there's something about that it says here God and inner knowing, right? So again, like making honey, for example, like I do think that that's still part of the world, but like making homemade honey and like selling that, I do think um like most people would just buy. Like we were also discussing that with my family as well today. Like who on earth, like there are still people who buy honey at an actual honey, like a beekeeper, right? Like most people just go and buy the honey in the supermarket. And I guess like if you would say like I'm going to become a beekeeper and I'm going to start making my own honey, and people will probably say you're nuts, right? Like you can buy it in stores. Like why on earth would you buy a more expensive jar of bee honey, right? But I do think that there is a market for that. Maybe that may become more part of the future than people think it will become part of the future, perhaps, right? So it could have something to do with that, or like anything to do with a futuristic idea where you're like, I have this inner knowing about this, like God is giving me an idea here, is giving me an inspiration. This could again be that unconventional wisdom, but in this case more like an unconventional idea that you got. And unconventional in this case definitely means like something that is not of this world, right? That is not a conventional way to do things. So you may be receiving an idea that is quite unconventional in nature because it is given to you by God. And I do think there's something about emotion, because this is talking about emotionally stuck, like passion stuck, heart stuck, right? Heart stagnancy. So I do think maybe God is helping you to remove that heart stagnancy, because I do think like this makes me think very much about the heart again, right? So following your heart, doing something from the heart, something is something that your heart is calling you towards, and it will lift the stagnancy of your heart. So it could be that, for example, if you are feeling anything to do with an emotion, so it could be, for example, a stagnant emotion could be an inability to forgive, for example, or an inability to, let's just say, to open your heart again or something. because that could be this right as well, right? Like, so let's just call it the inability to open your heart fully. And I do think that that could be a very healing effect to you following this unconventional idea from that you have been given by God, because it could make you uh, allow you to open your heart fully again, because you're going to do something that's very much in alignment with your natural gifts, and it will be very much like also lifting any kind of stagnation, because there's something of natural growth that is connected to that. So it might be like that gift will make room for you type of thing. So you could have been given a pumpkin ID that actually is a pumpkin seed kind of ID, right? A gift that will keep on giving, an ID that will keep on producing, right? So I'm wishing you a very beautiful day ahead, and I hope this was helpful to you.